Do we believe in the promise of America?
Vice President Kamala Harris hits the campaign trail less than 72 hours after President Biden dropped out of the race and endorsed her to succeed him. The California native is promising to win over voters in swing states, and rumors are swirling tonight that she may choose Arizona Senator Mark Kelly as her running mate. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Vice President Harris was in Wisconsin earlier today, where she drew a sharp contrast with former President Trump, citing her past role as a prosecutor.
Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
One sign of enthusiasm that is surrounding her campaign, she's pulled in more than $100 million in donations just since Sunday. And there is plenty of speculation as to who Vice President Harris may choose as her running mate should she secure the nomination. The Washington Post is reporting the top three contenders are Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Former Attorney General Eric Holder from the Obama administration is leading the search for a running mate. And if Senator Kelly is chosen, it would mark the first time in history that both a presidential nominee and a running mate of a major party would both be from here on the West Coast. Fox 10's Kenzie Beach is in Phoenix tonight with a closer look at where Senator Kelly stands in that vetting process.
Like 20 million miles in space, I'm sure he would travel this country getting out the vote and showing why their agenda for the next 4 years is the better plan.
The U.S. Navy combat veteran, retired NASA astronaut, and current Arizona Senator Mark Kelly could be the vice presidential pick for Kamala Harris.
He's done a lot of work for the people of Arizona. He led the CHIPS Act, which has made Arizona the leader in semiconductors in the world.
The key battleground state senator brings border experience to the ticket, something that gives him a leg up on the other possible running mates.
Obviously, being a border state, he knows this better than anybody. He's done a lot of great work on there. He knows firsthand how critical the border is. He has been on the border. He has been working on this issue since he got elected, so he has that firsthand experience that others may not.
Time is not on the side of the Harris campaign weeks before the Democratic National Convention and close to 100 days to Election Day. Some fear Kelly does not have the national name recognition for the short campaign.
He may not be well known in Pennsylvania or Michigan. That is something we'd have to tell his story. We'd have to get out and get the message of why he is such a strong addition to this ticket. As of right now, that's a weakness, but that'll turn into a strength once people get to know him.
Following the Harris campaign requesting vetting materials from Senator Mark Kelly, he posted to X referencing his first flight in the Navy and last flight home from the U.S. space station, saying it's not about how good you are when you start, it's about how good you push yourself to be.
I think we're, one of the key battleground states, obviously, but if he goes, it obviously creates a waterfall effect of what happens then.
It's important to note that Mark Kelly is the only senator being considered right now as Harris's running mate along some very big name governors. That's something that could hurt Mark Kelly down the road, especially with a very short campaign ahead of them. In Phoenix, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
The former mayor of Los Angeles, Antonio Villaraigosa, has announced he's making a run for California governor.
California is the state where anything is possible with hard work and determination. But our future depends on our willingness to face our biggest challenges.
Villaraigosa released this campaign ad this morning, promising to balance the budget, bring down costs, and make neighborhoods safer. He served as the mayor of L.A. between 2005 and 2013 and made a bid for governor in 2018, but did not advance beyond the primary. Some of the other candidates in this race include Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis, State Senator Tony Atkins, former Controller Betty Yee, and State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond. Tonight, there are several wildfires raging in the Canadian Rockies. More than 25,000 people began leaving Alberta early this morning. Locals there describe wall-to-wall traffic for miles as vehicles inch their way through some thick smoke. Officials say they have set up reception centers for evacuees in Grand Prairie as well as in Calgary. And in Oregon, firefighters are making inroads on a fire that's burning about 70 miles east of Portland. This is being called the Microwave Tower Fire. It started yesterday afternoon, and so far it's burned nearly 600 acres. As Fox 12's Dylan Scott reports tonight, firefighters took advantage of some improved weather conditions today.
My family doesn't normally leave our house unless it's level 3, but sometimes my mom will send me off if it's level 2.
Mosier resident Zachary Kime came into town to grab some much-needed lunch.
I didn't really eat breakfast, so I'm getting stuff at the market.
Only this market, like many of this little Oregon town, are dealing with a loss of power, a result of the microwave tower fire that has burned close to 600 acres since it began yesterday.
The fire's contained, so it's not going to do anything really, and the wind's not as bad as it was yesterday, so it's going to get a lot better.
Wasco County and the Oregon State Fire Marshal's office can't provide containment estimates yet, but Stephanie Krell says local departments, along with crews from Multnomah County to the Rogue Valley, have all pitched in to get ahead of this blaze these past 24 hours.
We were really lucky. We had some local resources that were able to jump on the fire in the early hours, and that really helped the situation.
It's an evolving situation, still under investigation. Currently in level 2 and level 3 evacuation warnings for nearby residences over the next 24 hours.
And the concern is always there, especially at the proximity to the town of Mosier. So we want to keep our eyes on the fire at all times. We have people working around the clock. So if there's any changes, we'll make sure to address those changes right away.
The kind of selfless state dedication those in wildfire hotspots are thankful to have.
I love how all the fire departments down here trying to fight these fires, and it's a really cool thing that they're all working together to do this.
In Northern California, the Gold Complex fire has prompted evacuation orders. Many other people in the area being warned to be ready to leave. Authorities issued an evacuation warning in Plumas County in the area of North Portola and east toward Beckworth Calpine Road this afternoon. That evacuation warning has since been extended to the Grizzly Road area from Highway 70 over to Lake Davis. This fire sparked from lightning strikes yesterday, and so far it's burned about 700 acres in that area. Authorities in Southern California are investigating a wildfire that started over the weekend that was likely caused by illegal fireworks. Video circulating among residents in the area shows the moment a concerned homeowner confronted 3 young men seen running from the point of origin for that fire on Sunday afternoon. The group is later seen jumping into a silver pickup truck and speeding out of the neighborhood. Neighbors in the area were forced to evacuate, and that fire destroyed 6 homes and damaged 7 others.
What happened, guys? It's all right. We've already called the police on you. Hey, do you have a fire extinguisher? Oh, dude, you're way past that.
Evacuation orders have been lifted for that fire, and there have been no reports of any injuries. The mayor of Riverside says more than $1 million has been spent on resources used to battle that fire. All right, we want to talk about our weather here because things are very hot all across the West. Not very favorable conditions for those fire crews. Here is a live look tonight at the Red Rocks of Sedona, Arizona. A beautiful shot here. Of course, though, it is still quite warm, even though you're getting up in elevation there, about 4,000 feet in Sedona here, but still very warm temperatures, very hot conditions here, as well as across much of the West. Let's bring in meteorologist Mark Tamayo with more on what we can expect as we make our way through the week. Mark?
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, we are expecting a pattern change that could cool off parts of the West over the next several days. We were talking about all the fires, and this is one of the forecast models. Takes into consideration the moisture, the winds, and the temperature. You can see what happens as we head into Wednesday. Keep an eye on these colors. They begin to resurface on this map here in some portions of Northern California, parts of Arizona, and as you can see in parts of Oregon and Washington for tomorrow as well. Of course, we're watching the smoke plumes, so we're taking a look at the smoke concentrations, and this is one of the forecast models showing you where we could have some smoke tomorrow up in portions of the Pacific Northwest, out in parts of the Sierra Nevada, and then as you can see out toward Colorado and New Mexico. Tracking the heat once again. The heat does not want to go away. You can see triple digits as you would expect out toward Tucson and Phoenix and Palm Springs, Las Vegas 109 degrees, Redding 110 up in Northern California, and Portland, Oregon 82 degrees. This was Seattle today with some clear skies. The temperature is 76 degrees. In the San Francisco Bay Area, lots of clear skies here. San Francisco, the lower 70s, but just a few miles inland, temperatures soaring back up into the 90s to over 100 degrees. And then out in Phoenix, of course, the triple-digit heat continues at 113 degrees this afternoon. Taking a look at the current temperatures out there right now, Seattle has cooled off to 74, Las Vegas 108 degrees, Los Angeles in the upper 60s right now. 68, and we are checking out a pretty active radar pattern this evening, as you can see out toward portions of the Sierra. Some lightning strikes detected there, and also up in Portland and Seattle. There's not too much to show you here, but finally a cooler pattern is developing over the next several days. So here's the plan for tomorrow. As you can see, the overall our thinking here. Another warm to hot forecast in Phoenix. Some areas of smoke could be in the Denver forecast for tomorrow. It's hot there with temperatures in the 90s. And Southern California, Los Angeles will be back up into the upper 80s to approaching the 90-degree mark. Here's the forecast model once again showing you the active weather out toward parts of Colorado and New Mexico, out toward Nevada as well. Maybe some more showers and thunderstorms out right around the Denver area. This says the Saturday forecast, but this is actually for the Wednesday forecast, as you can see once again. Tucson, 106 degrees, Palmdale, 106. Concord in the San Francisco Bay Area is up above 100 degrees today. They cool off into the 90s for tomorrow. So here's the plan. As you can see, lots of sunshine in Seattle. San Francisco Bay Area, we're going to thicken up the cloud cover for San Francisco for Thursday and Friday. It's warm down in Los Angeles. So once again, the constant, it seems like we're talking about temperatures close to 113 degrees in Phoenix, and that'll be the case over the next several days. Alex.
Mark, thank you for that. Still to come tonight here on West Coast Wrap. The man accused of killing Tupac Shakur 27 years ago back in court today. The latest on his attempts to get out of jail before the trial begins. Also, plenty of Delta Airlines passengers remain stranded. Why the airline is still struggling to recover days after that massive computer outage. A hydrothermal explosion at Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming sent terrified people running for cover. It happened this morning near Sapphire Pool, which last erupted in 1991. This is close to Biscuit Basin, and it forced the closure of that entire area. A dramatic video shows the moment of the explosion. A tourist described it as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The National Park Service says no one was injured here, and the extent of the damage is still unknown tonight. More trouble today for airline passengers, specifically those flying on Delta. The CrowdStrike computer glitch last week caused millions of computers worldwide to go down and caused a lot of trouble in the aviation industry. Other airlines have been able to recover, but Delta continues to struggle. Fox 11's Hal Eisner reports tonight from the Delta hub at LAX.
Still going.
That line? This was Friday.
I've been in multiple 6-hour lines and just trying to get home.
Renita Lobo and her kids were here for a vacation from Canada, a family reunion. But this adventure at the airport, she's had it.
I'm way past my limit.
Same for Larry and Roberta Williams from Tennessee. They were headed to Las Vegas, but they've been here for several days waiting to get out.
A lot of Delta right now is crew scheduling.
When that massive CrowdStrike outage happened last week, it hit Delta hard. In a statement, Delta CEO Ed Bastian said Delta has a significant number of applications that use that system, and in particular, one of our crew tracking related tools was affected.
They've got to figure out why this has gone on now for 4 or 5 days.
The U.S. Department of Transportation has opened an investigation into Delta Airlines to ensure the airline is following the law and taking care of its passengers during continued widespread disruptions. In a post on X, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg writes, "All airline passengers have the right to be treated fairly, and I will make sure that right is upheld."
It definitely needs to be looked into.
In Renita Lobo's case, the situation is compounded by the fact her parents are both in the hospital back in Canada.
And I can't even reach my mom, who I know needs me. She doesn't even feed herself. So it's very, very stressful. My work is affected. I have to take care of the kids. I had registered them for summer camps, daycares, and all that money is just going to waste.
How are you feeling about Delta?
I don't think I'll fly Delta again. I do not think I will ever.
And that was Fox 11's Hal Eisner reporting tonight from Los Angeles. The aftermath of that global outage is still being felt at other airports across the country. Not only were flights affected, but the baggage handling system was as well. Honolulu International Airport saw a major pileup of luggage. Travelers say they were notified of a technical issue causing concern. Some people even said they'd be double labeling their bags in order to clearly mark them as their own so nothing gets lost in this big pile, which has been accumulating since yesterday morning.
You have no idea if your luggage will make it with you during your flight, so it's scary. It's scary to kind of just walk in and see all these big piles everywhere. It's really intimidating, especially after knowing that we have a full day of travel ahead of us, just like walking into the airport and have no idea what's going on.
A statement from TSA said it continues to screen checked baggage at Honolulu International using alternate screening methods prior to the checked luggage being transported on a commercial aircraft. Hawaiian Airlines said in a statement, quote, "We do appreciate our guests' patience as our teams do their best to get flights out on time." The FAA is scrutinizing Southwest Airlines after a number of potential safety problems in recent months. The Wall Street Journal reports the Dallas-based airline says it is cooperating with the FAA's audit. Southwest has had a number of close calls in recent months, including an incident earlier this month when a plane descended to 150 feet above the ground when it was still miles away from landing in Tampa. In April, a flight in Hawaii came 400 feet away from the ocean as pilots were attempting to land in bad weather. United Airlines faced a similar FAA audit in recent months. The man accused of murdering hip-hop legend Tupac Shakur 27 years ago appeared in court today. A Las Vegas judge is considering whether or not Dwayne Davis should be allowed to post bail. Last month, the same judge denied Davis bail because the bail money was being paid in an exchange for an exclusive series on Davis's life. Davis's attorney says the court has to accept the money because it's being paid through a legitimate business. But prosecutors say Davis is a threat to the public and that posting bail will make that threat even worse. Davis will remain in jail as the judge deliberates. This trial is set to begin on November 4th. The Bay Area law enforcement community said a final goodbye today to a Vacaville police officer who was killed in the line of duty. Dozens of officers from police departments all over California traveled to Vacaville today to show their support for Officer Matthew Bowen. He was killed during a traffic stop on July 11th. Bowen joined the Vacaville Police Department just 13 months ago after spending 3.5 years with the Concord Police Department in the Bay Area. He switched departments to be closer to his wife and 2 young sons.
Your outpouring of support during this difficult time has been overwhelming. The strength and unity you have shown reflect the very values Matt stood for. He believed in this community and he worked tirelessly to make it a safer, better place for all of us.
The entire Vacaville Police Department followed the hearse as it entered the ceremony with the Concord Police Department just behind them, all of them entering under a large American flag raised up by the fire department. New video shows the moment a Los Angeles police cruiser was involved in a violent crash. And a warning here, some viewers may find the following video hard to watch. And you see the moment of impact there. This crash happened back on June 23rd as police were responding to an officer needs help call in South LA. The police cruiser had its lights and sirens going as that Toyota Corolla turned left in front of it. The driver of the Corolla was critically injured and is now in a medically induced coma, although officials say he is expected to survive. The 2 officers in that cruiser were not hurt in the crash. The crash also damaged a couple of parked cars nearby, and it remains under investigation tonight. Coming up here on West Coast Wrap, excitement is building for the Summer Games in Paris, and some Northern California seniors are getting into the spirit. Tonight we'll take you to these unique Olympic Games. Also, kids using their creativity to help decorate the streets. How this chalk art festival in Washington helps bring the community closer together. A thief thwarted by glass. Security cameras caught the suspect trying to break into a vape shop in Las Vegas. He hit the glass over and over again with no luck. So then he tried to run through the door. And after that, well, he gave up and drove away empty-handed. This store had reinforced glass put in after being broken into twice this month, and clearly it seemed to work there. The people who run a boot camp on a ranch in Southern California are working to improve internet access for those living on U.S. tribal lands. This camp is located in a remote area about 50 miles north of San Diego. Those in charge are conducting classes on hands-on broadband training for tribal leaders living in the region. The camp comes in response to a recent study that found 1 in 5 homes on tribal lands do not have proper access to the internet.
So what it does is it brings together like-minded individuals that are building broadband communications for their community, and it opens the door to a human network that they never knew existed.
Some local business owners teamed up to launch this project with some financial help from the Biden administration. The White House recently invested $65 billion to develop internet infrastructure in places that need it most. Well, the start of the Olympics in Paris is just a few days away now, and today we learned Snoop Dogg will be an Olympic torchbearer, carrying the flame for its final stretch before Friday's opening ceremony. He'll carry the torch through a northern Paris suburb. Snoop will also be covering the games as well. A senior care facility in the Bay Area held its own style of Olympic Games today. It's the second year in a row Belmont Village in Los Gatos, south of San Jose, is hosting these games. Athletes come from 5 of the facility's communities, drawing their bows for games of archery and setting up a net for some volleyball. There was also table tennis and seated breakdancing. Organizers tell us putting on this event has been a transformative experience for some of the senior residents.
They needed some positive reinforcements, and someone told me I didn't think I could, and now I could. And I'm just amazed at their diligence, their perseverance, and just excited to see them perform today.
Residents told us these Olympics get everyone laughing, moving, and they bring the community together. Looks like a lot of fun. A city outside Seattle is letting kids' imaginations run free on the sidewalks. The city of Issaquah is celebrating the middle of summer with chalk, ice cream, and creativity at its annual Chalk Art Festival. Everyone who takes part, including adults, received some free sidewalk chalk to take home. Organizers say it's a chance for the community to come together, enjoy the nice weather, and explore their creative sides.
We think it's a great way to build community and to cross different cultures and bring us all together. And especially after the last few years, we really want people to get together and enjoy making art together.
That's what it's all about. Judges will be choosing a winner for the most creative piece. The event also included a resource fair featuring local nonprofits and city partners. That looks like a lot of fun. Folks doing some great work there on the sidewalks. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching. And a reminder, before we go, you can stay up to date on all the stories we're covering across the West at our website, westcoastwrap.com. Have a great rest of your night.